Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber God Santa, and this is Bug Zenith. God Santa and I share a love of Slogurk the Overslime, which is kind of the mascot of the deck. It's hard to call it Bug Slogurk because there's one copy and, whatever. I don't want to oversell the Slogurkiness of this deck, but I can Zenith for it, and it is a dope-ass card that I haven't gotten to play with in a long time. The inspiration of this deck is somewhere in between the Pokemoki Bug Value Pile deck and Cradle Control. There are aspects here of each. The Cradle Control stuff, we've got a Fiend Artisan and a White of the Reliquary that we can get with Green Sun Zenith. Kind of a toolbox on your toolbox so you can toolbox while you toolbox kind of thing. If we find ourselves in a position with nothing but time and want to set up some engines. There's also an actual Gaia's Cradle in the deck. The Green Sun Zenith package, we've got Keen-Eyed Curator, Grist, and the fun part, the various legends, Leovold, Uro, Slogurk. The original build I was sent also had a Codis. That's one of the Tarkir Dragonstorm SULTAI legends. I did have to do a little bit of trimming of the fat here. I kept the identity intact, but we were a couple steps too far beyond what I thought I could perform in a league with, but we've still got a bunch of dope legends in here, and all of them we can Green Sun Zenith for. The original list had Delighted Halfling instead of Birds of Paradise, but Delighted Halfling critically doesn't cast many of the important spells in the deck, like Brainstorm, Ponder, Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, all of these things. So I went with trusty old, as Garfield intended, Birds of Paradise. We do need some mana dorks. We need a good 1-drop to hit with Zenith. We need material to turn on Gaia's Cradle. We need creatures to sacrifice to White of the Reliquary and Fiend Artisan. Some mana dorks do make sense. But at the end of the day here, we are playing ultra fair Magic the Gathering. If you want to play this kind of deck in a tournament, I do strongly recommend the Pokemoki Bug deck. But if you want to have fun with dope legends that you like, this is a fun way to explore that. Let's do it. This is Bug Zenith. I'm on the draw in round 1 versus somebody who usually plays Painter. I'll keep my hand. I like accessing the Fatal Push early. I like that I can develop Birds of Paradise. Goblin Welder dies to Orcish Bowmaster. I've got some options here. I'm going to fetch Bayou first, I think. The Birds of Paradise gets me at least kind of playing against Magus of the Moon. I do have one Basic Forest in the deck. That's the basic I went with because I figured Basic Forest plays Zenith, Basic Forest plays Birds of Paradise. That's a way to keep gaming. Okay, there's Painter. Thoughtseize and Fatal Push. These are all cards I can cast this turn. Okay, we can Thoughtseize to check the runway for Red Blast that might come after my Fatal Push. And if my opponent goes Spirit Guide Red Blast on the Thoughtseize, I could push the Painter in response and still get a Thoughtseize. Alright, they did have it. I think I want to take... Well, what I want to do is take Goblin Engineer, but I can't. Because I have to take the Spirit Guide or the Pyroblast. Once I kill Painter, Pyroblast... I am still a blue deck. Alright, fine. I will take the Pyroblast. And then I think I'm gonna Ponder first, and then Fatal Push. Looking for more answers to stuff here. Green Sun Zenith. That can get Keen-Eyed Curator next turn, which will be online in time to stop the Goblin Engineer from getting this Painter back into play. A Wasteland sooner than later would be nice to deal with the Urza Saga before I have to kill all those things one at a time. I'm not very good at doing that. Engineer happens. Phyrexian Dragon Engine into the bin. Okay. Protecting their mana by not adding that Ancient Tomb. That works for me. Well, if I go Orcish Bowmaster, that's free because Gaia's Cradle then taps for 2 extra. Bowmaster, 1 to you. Zenith for 2. The Curator was a last-minute addition to the deck, and I'm glad it's here right now. I think I just want to exile Painter Servant immediately before they could grab something like Pithing Needle and turn this off. This does mean I have to deal with Phyrexian Dragon Engine, but if I can untap once with this. The graveyard doesn't matter anymore, and I'll have a 7/7 that they'll really struggle to beat. Research Desk. That's another card that functions out of the graveyard. Desk exiled Welder and Pyroblast. There's the Tomb, second Grindstone, Spirit Guide, and getting the Dragon Engine back. This is a fresh rebuild with 2 mana still floating. Finding Painter here would be kind of tough, but I can Zenith for Grist and kill it. Right, and I have Orcish Bowmaster in play. Honestly forgot that was going to be part of the equation here. I'm going to take out the Engineer. I'm more worried about that than the Dragon Engine. Here's the Welder that was chosen off the Research Desk. 1 mana still floating, 3 fresh cards in hand. No action there. Okay, who is in my deck, and what's the best thing to do here? Another free Bowmasters, which has a great target now. What can I Zenith for? I could get Grist. I could just hold the Zenith. I could get Leovold. Wow. Do I want Leovold? That card's really nice. I'm going to start with the Bowmaster. That's definitely happening. Take out the Welder. And I can get Delirium on Keen-Eyed Curator in combat, so that's a good attack here. Okay, it went for the block. Exile, Research Desk, Welder, Saga. That makes me a 7/7, and I've still got mana floating. Might as well use it. I'll take Grindstone as well, and Goblin Engineer. Okay, opponent's at 6. They will have to combo kill me right now, which the deck is capable of. Just gonna hope it doesn't happen. Cool. Keen-Eyed Curator, coast to coast. Disruptor Flute, Force of Vigor, Endurance, Collector Oof, Hydroblast. These are all cards I like. Force of Will I don't really like at all. I'm a little worried about getting Magus and the Moon here. I don't have a Dismember or anything in the deck, and I would need my pieces to line up right to play through that. It's literally possible, but it's not necessarily easy. Tamiyo kind of sinks against Painter as well. They have so many Pyroblasts. Baleful Strix is not really what we're doing here either. Just focus on the green part of the deck for the most part. Consigns, Surgicals, and Nile Spellbombs all have various fringe uses here. I think these are the better cards, and the tier 2 sideboard cards. Is there anything else I want to cut to start moving any of those in? Bowmaster is not great versus Painter, but taking out Welder is good, and it is material for Gaia's Cradle, Fiend Artisan, and White Other Reliquary, all of which I'm kind of into. Okay, I guess this is what I'm doing. Okay, the basic forest is online. If I get turn 1 Blood Moon, at least I'm doing something. Goblin Welder. I think I'm just going to cook that immediately. Alright, it died. If they have Urza's Saga this turn, I can Thoughtseize plus Wastelands. Pretty sick. Painter Servant's in. White Other Rel. I think I want to Ponder first. Or do I want to Thoughtseize first? I think I want to Thoughtseize so I know what I'm pondering for. But then I can't shuffle the Ponder. No, I think this is okay. Thoughtseize first. Let's make a plan. Abrade, Grindstone. I have to take Grindstone. Ensnaring Bridge. Can I actually remove an artifact or enchantment from play? Yes, I have Force of Vigor, I guess. Not a lot of action on that one. But they also can't, or they could cast it by pitching Spirit Guide. So that has to be fine. I will take the Grindstone. I'll get Tropical Island here. Cast Ponder with Birds of Paradise Brainstorm. These cards are pretty nice, actually. Right, no shuffle. Pass. The beats. Pass with no play. So they're not ready to spend Spirit Guide on Ensnaring Bridge. It's a reasonable take, I suppose. Slow Gurk. I could jam that. If it dies, I get Verdant Catacombs back. If I wait a turn, I could get extra action off of Slow Gurk. I could just play white plus bird here. White is currently 2/2, dies to a braid, but I guess that's fine. White Other Rel. Birds of Paradise. Braiding the white. That's fine. We're just going 1 for 1 until I can start 2 for 1-ing. And every turn this Ensnaring Bridge doesn't come into play is a turn I could draw my Thoughtseize. I'm drawing a fetch land here. I'm gonna Brainstorm first. Collector Oof. Alright. Now I'm in the sad position where I don't actually want to lose any of these cards. Because a lot of the best draws in their deck are non-basic lands right now. Like Urza Saga completely changed the texture of this game. Yeah, I might just go Collector Oof Brainstorm on top, and then use Wasteland to cast Slowgurk, and then I can Ponder. Though Ponder's not even good, because I know I want two at the top of my cards in my deck. I guess that redraws the two cards I want, and then I can see all fresh cards off Brainstorm next turn. Yeah, okay, Ponder is good. Disruptor Flute, okay. I want all these cards. Okay, no shuffle, pass the turn. If Slowgurk dies here, I get a Verdant Catacombs back, which is not a super sexy use of Slowgurk, but it does do something. And importantly, every turn my opponent doesn't do something, their hand gets bigger. So even if they do pitch Spirit Guide to cast Ensnaring Bridge here, they still have 3 cards in hand. All right, there it is. The Spirit Guide, Ensnaring Bridge line, Slowgurk can still party, as long as I don't put a land in my graveyard by accident. Yeah, they did cast this right on time. I was about to make it cost a lot more. Brainstorm, Barrogoyf. Barrogoyf doesn't matter a lot here. Bowmasters could answer a Goblin Welder, but I have Disruptor Flute for that. And I'm going to put back the 2 creatures that seem to be doing the least. And I'll attack for 3 one more time. Probably the last opportunity for that. And here is Collector Oof. Did I leave Bowmaster on top? If I did, Collector Oof could attack. Another Painter. Okay. How did I stack this? Opponent still has 3 cards in hand. Alright, I hope I left Bowmaster on top. Okay, good job, me. Attack, attack. If they double block here, I'll trade Collector Oof for one of the Painters. Okay, no blocks. Sniffed out my dastardly tricks. I don't want to draw Barrogoyf, but I also don't want to make Slowgurk bigger if I don't have to. What my opponent does this turn will determine that. Goblin Welder. I can kill that. Okay, went down to 2 cards in hand. That means fetching is on the house, because Slowgurk can't fight here anyway. I'll get my Hedge Maze. Another Bowmaster, hell yeah. That lets me pick off this Welder in the end step and still threaten the Painters in combat with Oof. Or threaten a Painter, you know what I mean. Okay, I'm going to make the world's most obvious attack, but it's also my best one, which is Collector Oof and Orc Army attacking. Those are the 2 creatures that with a second Oof I can kill a Painter. Okay, there's the block. And I'm going to go before damage to get the Orc Army through. Okay, there's that. And am I worried about City of Traders? No. I mean, that helps them get their hand empty, but if they followed up with Urza Saga, I'll be bummed out. Alright, I guess I'll just Wasteland the City of Traders. Disruptor Flute fired off in the end step. It keeps the hand small. The next land that goes to my graveyard, I could activate Slowgurk and pick up my Wastelands. That's a potential long game scenario as I settle in versus this Ensnaring Bridge that I have. What do we determine? Like 1 or 2 outs to? 1 or 2 is not 0. Shows Keen-Eyed Curator. Okay. Ancient Tomb. 1 card in hand, which means my Bowmasters could attack if they want to. I don't know why I'd want to do that. Gaia's Cradle. Might as well put it into play. Yeah, no attacks here. Actual Cradle control gets to play Hierarchs, but my mana's not good enough for that. Like, there's not a bug Hierarch, which is an outrage, honestly. Okay, this Polluted Delta represents access to Wasteland. And this deck feels like maybe it should have a Boseiju in it, actually. Did I blow it? This Painter Servant is not naming blue, also, which means if I go for a Disruptor Flute, they can't counter it. Misty Rainforest, I don't think playing that makes sense. Alright, I'll sacrifice a Bowmaster here to push 3 damage. My opponent kept an extra card in hand, which means the Orc Army can get in. And if they're being really careful about their Painter, maybe they won't even block. Yeah. Okay. Being ultra precious about the Painter Servant. I like that. It's probably right, but I also do like that it's good for me. Bolting my bird. Alright, this smells like they're setting up a Magus of the Moon. Yeah, that's probably happening. Okay, just sacrifice their City of Traders to play a mountain. That's just to keep the hand small, I bet. Alright, I'll keep taking draws here. Dryad Arbor, let's go. Another attacker under Ensnaring Bridge for 1. At 6 life with Ancient Tomb as most of your mana. Yeah, there's the Magus that was being set up. Yeah, that doesn't counterplay the Disruptor Flute. It does counterplay Wasteland. It does give them life total to play with. Ponder, yep. Killing the bird handles that. I could attack them to 3 here, but that's not deadly. Karn the Great Creator resolves. Animated Disruptor Flute. Going for blockers. Another Trop. So I'm in the market for Zenith. Force of Vigor, I need to come up with a green card to cast. Phyrexian Dragon Engine from hand. Standing up the flute again. I continue to draw nothing but lands. Karn's making a wish. Is it Grindstone time? Tormod Script. Okay, sure. Tormod Script is here. That might be a multi-turn line where they bomb their own graveyard, so Grindstone's in exile, and then they can get it with Karn. Alright, still more lands. Opponent's got 2 cards in hand right now. Yeah, putting them to 3 does not kill them. There's a Saga, which doesn't do Urza Saga things. Tormod Script, targeting yourself. Karn gets Grindstone. All Disruptor Flute, Grindstone. They have an Abrade or something. They win. 2 cards in hand over there. My god, deck. Alright, is there a spell left inside you? Yeah, they might even have access to Lattice or something. Like, the Karn still has another bullet. Or Karn might be able to wish for something that removes Disruptor Flute. I don't know. Another Painter. Alright, just didn't activate Karn at all. Who needs that loyalty? Another fucking land. Oh, Life is Pain. I could have had a basic island in the deck, but I just don't. I don't think it matters most of the time, but right now, obviously, it would be a big game changer. All right, remember to activate Karn this turn. Unlucky for me. Something's happening in my upkeep. We're welding Dragon Engine into Painter. Okay. All right, now Painter is naming blue, so Pyroblast on Disruptor Flute is on. Oh my god. Well, this is black, green, and blue. All right, that one is just green at baseline. Okay, my next green card I draw could play, but now there's a welder. Okay, Pyroblast. Yeah, that stinks. Force of Vigor showed up just a little too late. Is there anything I can do here? No. All right. All right. Okay, is there anything in my deck that would have helped me there? I could have the forces in, but that's just so bad. Yeah, I don't have a werewolf guy, whatever that guy's called, Outland Liberator. I will keep this hand. Catacombs pass. This can grab Forest if it needs to. Really hope this Magus doesn't happen on turn 1, though. Okay, I'm going to get Hedge Maze. Green Sun Zenith. I'll take it. A basic Forest Zenith for Bird. We're in action with the Birds of Paradise. Painter. Bird didn't get bolted in the end step, so this is more likely to be Pyroblast than Lightning Bolt. I'm going to Brainstorm, see if that draws out a Pyroblast. It did not. Okay, put back a bunch of these lands. Don't need those in my life. And I can beat a Pyroblast here. Hold on. I'm going to do this in the upkeep. They only have 1 red. Let's at least tap mana on your own turn if we're going to have a fight. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Pyroblast. Underground Sea Hydroblast. Imperial Recruiter. I'm going to rebuild the squad. Fresh Painter. Ooh, okay. This is some action. I'm gonna Ponder first. Fatal Push. A nice find. I'll take it. And then Wasteland, the Ancient Tomb, play Keen-Eyed Curator. I think I'm more worried about Curator than I am Collector Oof at this moment. There's a Saga. Grindstone. Curator, Exile Painter. That's an artifact and a creature under there. This can become 7/7 pretty trivially, in fact. And more than once. Which means, like, getting hit a bolt, though my opponent has not played in a way that they have Lightning Bolt at any point. Exile Ancient Tomb. Exile Pyroblast. 6 Trample coming through. Collector Oof. That makes Grindstone quite a bit worse. There's the Sandbag Lightning Bolt. So now we're going to play chicken around this fatal push. But a 7/7 doesn't give my opponent infinite time to figure it out either. Another recruiter. Is this going to grab something like welder and be redundant? Okay. Backup painter. That's interesting. Tropical island. All right, 7 trample coming in. All right, so opponent's probably going to search up Lion's Eye Diamond here, and then I lose. So I can't take out both painters. All right, yeah, tight game. Yep, there it is. The double painter will beat a removal spell here. And I don't have endurance in my hand to reset my deck. All right, GG. We don't have to play this out. I know what's coming. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play for round 2, and after drawing 35 lands in a row in the last game I played, I now have no mana to play the game. I will mulligan. Okay, this has to work. I'll keep it and put Burrow's a draw engine, but Bowmaster is cheaper and works better. All right, yeah, I'll keep it low to the ground and worry about Uro later. Birds of Paradise. A card that I feel like I've been putting in Legacy decks more lately than I have in years. Tamiyo. All my homies hate Tamiyo. All right, well, everything I want to do in my hand is black. I'll start with Thoughtseize. I could Wasteland and Ponder, I guess. Oh, we're Doomsday. Fun. Doomsday with Teferi. Also fun. Well, it seems like this Brainstorm is the card I have to take, unfortunately, because I can't cast Orcish Bowmasters. Brainstorm's out of here. There's no days in their hand. I can ponder. All right, well, there's the black mana, but do I still want it? I can't double spell next turn with this spread. Some Doomsday decks do have Wasteland in them, but I doubt the ones with Teferi also have Wasteland. And I do want to Wasteland this turn, so my opponent can't start cracking clues right away. And there's no shuffle coming. Ugh. If they draw Fatal Push, I don't know if that's a card Doomsday can afford to play, but I guess I do need access to some of these black sources. I'll take this, even though I'm not stoked about it. Okay, pass. Tamiyo beats. That'd be so sick if they crack LED to draw a card here. Off the clue. I'd respect the hell out of that. Though LED can crack 2 clues next turn, flip Tamiyo, and have a new hand. Interesting. Very stupid, but interesting. I think I want White of the Reliquary here. As if White is active, I can sack Orc armies to it and get stuff going. But having Orcish Bowmaster active does not get me a turn faster with the White. There's the Underground Sea. Something's happening. Oh no. Well, that's horrific. That card I did not want to see. And now I'm basically dead, because the Lion's Eye Diamond's already in their hand. They might be able to actually win right now. LED, crack a clue, 2 mana floating. That should get through a Doomsday Pile. And Bowmaster would not have helped me here either. I still like my sequence. I just don't like that I couldn't do everything I wanted to do last turn. Okay, I haven't died. I don't know what that means. I'm drawing Bayou. Is there anything that could help me do better than Bayou here? Because I could White in the upkeep. I'm not getting another turn, though, is the problem. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna flash out the Bowmaster and then go get Hedge Maze all before I draw a card. Yeah, that was gonna be a lot cooler last turn. Children's Edict. That's not helping either. All right, I'm all in. I'll play Fiend Artisan and hope that they somehow can't get through the Bowmaster, which seems preposterous. All right, go. I was honestly surprised I didn't die last turn, but I guess the line probably would have been too all in and not comfortable to go for. Here's Teferi, LED. Yeah, super protected here. And here comes the clue token line. Bouncing Bowmaster before anything happens. Yep. Tameo flips, Edge of Autumn. Yeah, could have done this last turn, but I guess taking the turn to protect yourself is reasonable. Okay. Veil of Summer, Carpet of Flowers, Disruptor Flute, Consign to Memory. These are all cards I'm interested in. Endurance. Cards that are worse. Children's Edict, Keen-Eyed Curator. Grist does very little here. Leovold Rips. It kind of sucks that I have to respect Tameo, because I'd love to just cut all these Fatal Pushes. What does that look like if I do that? I do still have Caracas in my deck, and like one way to tutor it. That's not very good. Yeah, Strix's not great in this matchup. I'm basically completely shields down to Tameo here. Or Leovold can turn off Tameo pretty effectively. I have Leovolds and Bone Masters and the Caracas. Yeah, I guess this is not actually as completely insane as I imagined. Okay, I'll try this. Man, that Dark Ritual sucked. That same game, but they have to wait a turn. I'm good. But I would like to play first. I will keep my hand. And I'm going to Green Sun Zenith off of Bayou. Trying to maximize access to black next turn. I love the old Endurance, no green card, Force, no blue card combo. Tundra. That's got to be the worst land in their deck. Okay, I have Hardcast Endurance available. I don't think attacking for one with Dryad Arbor is better than playing around Days or representing Endurance. I'm going to end step a Bowmaster. If they brainstorm in response or they counter this, I have another one. Yeah. I guess Endurance is so unlikely to do anything here that maybe I should have main phased the Bowmaster. That at least makes their brainstorm worse. Okay, one's in there. Get the Hedge Maze. Wasteland. Hell yeah. Put that on top. And I'm going to take out the Tundra because it's currently available to me. And I am going to push here with the Bowmaster. I'm still playing around Days. I'm on that tempo life. This is a pretty big, clunky, mana-intensive deck. You're not going to get a lot of tempo draws like this. And I'm going to take it while it's in front of me. Okay, did not shuffle. Scrubland. White mana's back. Swords to Plowshares. One down. Fetch. Another white source. I hate that. Tameo's in. I also have Tameo. That's cool. Am I going to start respecting Days now? I will still continue to respect Days. My plan is to ambush the Tameo with Endurance. And I have Force backup. Duress. Alright, I no longer have Force backup. I could Endurance now. Alright, I guess I'll keep them guessing. Endurance now. That's bad if they have a full send with Doomsday. But if they wanted to fight over the Endurance, that would have been the time to cast it. Now it's at least in front of Tameo. Oh, well done. All right, am I dead? Is there a Lion's Eye Diamond in the mix here that punishes the Endurance play? Okay, here is a Brainstorm into the Bowmaster. I assume I am dead here. Yeah, the calculated risk of playing out the Endurance when I could protect it if Tameo is what the game was going to be about versus them having all of this right now to follow it up. Yeah, I'll just keep trying to go face here. So they're going to get in just in time. And trying to kill off Tameo so their devotion wasn't 3 didn't matter because they're at 2 cards. Also, they could have plus Tameo at any point if they felt like it. All right, yeah, that was a great punish. GG's. On to the next one.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3. Island Ponder. I'm in. I'll probably Zenith first, though. If I go Trop Zenith, what does that set me up for? Ooh, a Leyline of the Void on turn 1 is interesting. Must be against some kind of black prison stompy combo helm thing. Okay, I'm gonna go Trop and Zenith. I feel like I'm gonna need more mana, more resources here, not less. Or not card selection, but more stuff, better stuff than them. Ancient Tomb. All right, well, I'm glad that wasn't Chalice of the Void. That would have been really bad for me, though I might die next turn. Zenith. All right, another spot where main deck Collector Roof would be good, but I chose to put it in the sideboard in favor of the Keen-Eyed Curator. Okay, Brainstorm. Okay, Force of Will, I'm happy to see. I'm going to put back a Fatal Push, and I can Zenith for 3 next turn. All right, yeah, I'm just going to put back both Fatal Pushes and attack for 1. Damage is my win condition. Candelabra, cool. Are we just like Tron or Eldrazi that main deck Leyline of the Void because you hate Oopsal spells? What's going on here? I mean, I appreciate the grind. Okay, I'm definitely shuffling away those Fatal Pushes. Gonna get my Hedge Maze. Oh no, it's back. Moto Bug. If I draw another one, I'm filing a bug report. Okay, got away with it. Burrow does not work with Leyline of the Void, unfortunately. My bangers are online. Slowgurk, pretty bad here. I guess it's just Leovold. Leovold may or may not do anything here. I'm against some kind of big mana strategy. But if I can't believe in Leovold, then I believe in nothing. I don't have a Toxicrene in my deck. That would be an exciting card to have access to right now. Oh, I'm so ready to force a Kozilek's command. Pitching Uro. Alright, I'm going to counter that pitching Uro. And here is Leovold. I have no idea if that's going to do anything. But it's in play now. They did full send on that Kozilek's command, the Grim Monolith involved in everything. Urza's Tower, that's just taps for 1. Karn, okay. Karn presumably has access to Helm of Obedience, and that's the combo. There it is. I need interaction here. A Thoughtseize is good, a Force is good. Hey, there's Thoughtseize. Can I churn through this better? Yeah, I could just yeet the Uro. Yeah, I'll do that. Thoughtseize on top of the deck. Don't shuffle. Play Uro. Draw Thoughtseize. Put Underground Sea into play. Thoughtseize your Helm. The hand is 2 lands. Love to see it. Attack Karn. Okay, we're still not out of the woods because they have a lot of mana, but the Imminent Death has been faded. Planar Nexus gives them a shitload more mana. Ponder. Fatal Push, Cradle, Land. Nope, shuffle that. Force of Will on the hard cast. I'll take it. Clinging to life by a thread here. This non-attack with Dryad Arbor tells them exactly what's in my hand. You can untap Monolith in the end step. Tower. Are you saying there's a chance? Attack for half your life total. Fade 1 more draw step. Fingers crossed. Another tower. They're saying words in the chat. Yeah, they said they have 2 more lands in hand, and my last card in hand is forced because I didn't attack. Obviously. Okay. Consign to memory coming in. Yeah, maybe I misclicked. Maybe I didn't attack by accident. Okay. That interaction reminds me of one time I was playing a team event. It was like a modern standard legacy thing. And my friend was in the legacy seat and his opponent passed with 5 mana up. Like it was on Delver and like played out land number 5 and passed. And I was like, your opponent has Force of Will. And he was like, fucking obviously. Like he was just very mad that I said something so obvious out loud that also tipped his opponent off that we knew what was going on. The cool thing about teaming with good players in events is it's best to just not speak. Just let everyone play their own matches and leave the table when you're done with yours. Okay, Collector Oof should be in. I don't think Keen-Eyed Curator is doing much. Fatal Push not doing much. And we did see Eldrazi Temple. I don't know if that's just there for Kozilek's commands or like if Emrakul's at the top end of this deck or if there are Thought-Knot Seers and stuff. Sheoldred's Edict's still good. Man, poor Baleful Strix. That was the card I was most excited to put in this deck. And it's just not a player. I think I'm going to shave an Uro as well, though that's cutting a blue card and a green card when I have Force of Vigor and Force of Will in my deck. But Uro is just not good here. I mean, it would be very good if they don't have Leyline, but that's clearly a feature of their deck. Is Bowmaster even good? Bowmaster might just be bad, though it is good with the Fiend Artisan and the white. Okay. I'll try this. Wasteland. I do like that card. Yeah, I'll keep this. I don't like the Dried Arbor, but I like everything else that's going on here. Saga. Ooh. I think Thoughtseize will still be good next turn, where Wasteland might miss the boat. Let's rip that off. Tower. Consign. Oh, is that better than Thoughtseize? Because if their hand is 2 payoffs and a planar nexus, it's better to consign. All right, fine. I'll hold up consign. Eldrazi Temple. All right, a little bit stinky. I like that for me. I'll get my Hedge Maze, and then I can fetch Underground Sea or Bayou and Thoughtseize my opponent here. Ooh, Zenith. Do I even want that? It's not mana, and the Dried Arbor's already in my hand. Yeah, if Dried Arbor wasn't in my hand, this card would actually be good. All right, I think I will keep the faith on the deck's namesake. And I think I want Underground Sea. Let's have a peek. Good Kozilek's command for 1 in response, but I don't care about that. Warping Whale. That's nice. All right. I could consign the Warping Whale and resolve the Thoughtseize, but that puts me back in the position that I described last turn, where it's better to hold up consign. Another Wasteland. I think I can find a home for that. That will be better than what's going on here. I'm going to ponder. More lands and another ponder. Right now is my opportunity to put Dried Arbor into play. Yeah, I guess I will keep this stack of cards. And I will run out the Dried Arbor. Kinda stinks, but there it is. If they want to dismember that or waste a mode of Kozilek's command on it, I'm not fighting over it. Saga. Okay, deal. Deal, deal, deal. Alright, Wasteland the Urza Saga. I was hoping to snag a Planar Nexus with that, but Urza Saga is scary enough. Okay, I like Brainstorm. I don't really care about Grist, but I like Brainstorm. Ancient Tomb, the One Ring. Alright, my patience has been rewarded, I guess. Did I need to counter that with Leovold? Or they could tap it on my turn to draw a card. They'd take a lot of damage, though. Okay, I think I should Brainstorm here. Force of Will. Oh, I have to pitch Leovold, though. Life is pain! I'll put back Forest and Grist. I just don't care about Grist here. I'm going to get Trop and develop my White of the Rel. Big beats. I have a Force of Will up, though. It would crush my poor little heart to lose my Leovold forever. Eldrazi Temple. Oh my god. I didn't die. Okay. Leovold's still my only blue card. And here I could Zenith for Uro and also sack it in response to its trigger. Okay, I'm going to attack for 3 and then do the Uro thing second main. Enjoy my vigilance. And Slowgurk is also kind of tempting. But that could fill my hand with Wastelands. Because it's when Slowgurk leaves play and I could sack it at will. But I could do that next turn also. Okay, Uro. I'd like to gain 3 life. Okay, now I can sack that off. Oh, that feels good. Do I just want a fetch land or do I want one of my tech lands? Oh, Caracas can pick up Slowgurk next turn. And I don't even have to sacrifice it. Okay. Infinite Wasteland loop. I'm not sure if Wasteland is the bottleneck anymore, though. I have so much mana. Another Ancient Tomb. 10 mana for an Eldrazi spell. Ulamog. Taking out my Caracas. That's fucked. Okay. I think, despite my sadness, pitching Leovold is correct here. That lets me hold on to the second Force of Will, which can protect Uro for a turn, which hopefully is all I need. All right, hit a land off Uro, pass. Here it is. A swamp. Ancient Tombs have been tapped. God, what is this? No, not Ugin! Okay, I'll force the Ugin. I do lose Uro, though. Caracas could have saved him. Okay, I can Zenith again. I think it's Slowgurk time. Slowgurk attacks for 4. All right, Zenith time. Yep, straight up Gurking it. Okay, pass the turn. I'm all the way in here. If they kill Slowgurk, I get all my Wastelands back, but I don't think that matters anymore. I just need their hand to be bricks. Okay, they've tapped. Oh, this is so much mana. Not another Ugin! All right, well, I'll get my lands back. Wasteland, Wasteland. I guess I'll take Dried Arbor. I won't be using any of these. This has life gain attached to it as well. I think the ship just sailed. Picking up the Dryad Arbor also gives me the ability to top deck Grist here, which actually is good now, after not being good for so long. Alright, Grist, Arbor. Hope they can't do anything in response. Okay. Well, I'm glad I made the decision I made. We are still in top deck mode against a deck with 8 trillion mana in play. Please start whiffing. Please start whiffing. Look at this graveyard. Ulamog, Ugin, and the One Ring are the last 4 cards they've cast. And I'm still in this game somehow. Oh no. Mana being tapped. Karn. Alright, I mean, if they play Lattice, I'm just dead. They know my hand is 2 Wastelands. Disappointing. Okay. Yeah, actually, being able to sneak 1 more Wasteland in, they would have been 1 mana short of that. Okay, so the One Ring, Ulamog, Ugin, Karn. The Karn finally got me. Not bad. Okay, what am I even doing here? And Curator can just be a 7/7. I wonder if that game I should have let the One Ring resolve with Leovold in my hand. Would that have been the difference? The problem is that Ugin, specifically Ugin, well, Ulamog too, I countered 3 spells in a row that had cast triggers attached to them. I could bring in Surgical for some kind of YOLO emergency type of game plan where, like, I counter 1 Ugin, then take the rest out of the deck. Or I waste a Planar Nexus, then take the rest out of the deck. I don't like doing that. That's for, like, being incredibly desperate. And I don't know that I am that desperate. I mean, that Uro was kind of good when they didn't have the light line of the Void. Alright, I think I just have to put these cards back in. I'm not well suited to this matchup. Okay. A Turbo Flip Tameo. That's a game plan, no matter where you're from. You've seen Dismember. The Tameo could die here, but I'm going for it. Rather than try to Zenith, then Tameo plus Brainstorm all next turn. Punished immediately. Can't get away with anything here. I hate it here. Okay, I am going to Brainstorm. And I'm going to put Grist back in my deck. I can also just cast Grist next turn and start chugging, but chugging with Grist isn't even that good. Fiend Artisan. This card's so far away from being useful that I think I am going to just fetch a Trop and Ponder here. Or I could Zenith now. Yeah, I guess I want more mana next turn. And this gives me something to do with the Fiend Artisan. I wonder if I had led on Dryad Arbor, if they would have just ripped off Dismember on that. Did I leave money on the table? Disruptor Flute. Okay. That probably just names Wasteland. Oh, Green Sun Zenith, sure. That costs more now. A Brainstorm first. Leovold. My father. Okay, I think Fiend Artisan has left the building here. Birds of Paradise doesn't look that useful anymore either. And I'm gonna shove Leovold. Once Leovold's in play, you're guaranteed to get a card off him somewhere, somehow. Though, I'm not sure how I'm gonna get through this Urza Saga. Ponder needs to find Wasteland immediately. And it did. In fact, it found 2. Or no, it didn't. One of these is for Catacombs. I don't know what's going on around here. Okay. Catacombs, Wasteland, Uro, no shuffle, Underground Sea, Tameo, Uro, flips Tameo, and puts Wasteland into play. An incredible sequence for Handsome Wizards. That was awesome. Man, Uro's such a good card. Unbanned in Modern, you cowards. Okay, am I worried about the tutor from Saga or Urza's Tower being in play in the future? I'm going to take out Urza's Tower. If they get Candelabra, I guess that's pretty good, but that's only good if you have stuff like Tower to untap. This will attack for 3 next turn. All right, well, Leovold's not going to block, so Tameo, you're the meat shield. Pithing Needle. Okay, that's not bad. I'm drawing Verdant Catacombs here, which means I can Thoughtseize and play Uro. Yeah, turned off Tameo with the Needle is fine. Didn't spend any mana. Attacking me. Not holding back anything to defend against the Leovold is kind of insulting. Okay, I'm going to Thoughtseize my opponent first. And I still have blue, blue, green, green left over. One Ring, Karn, Ulamog. I think Ulamog is the card I'm most worried about here, which might seem silly. What happened? How far away are they from that thing practically? So Ulamog, if they draw a planar nexus, that's 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, 7, 8, 9, 10. They need another one. So they're like 3 turns away from Ulamog, even with the nut draws. Karn probably does the most on its own. The One Ring buys them the turn, though Leovold slows down the card draw. I think I'm still most worried about the One Ring somehow, after all of these other factors are accounted for. Like, I could attack Karn, but if they have an Ensnaring Bridge in their sideboard, that sucks. Okay, I will take Karn, leave you with the One Ring. Cast Uro. Collector Oof. Look at me, leaving you with the One Ring. 1000 IQ. Attack. And now I'm worried about Ulamog, Mog maxing. And they've had enough. GG's. Okay, Bug Slop takes over Tron. You love to see it. The Ultra Fair versus whatever Tron is qualified as. On to the next round.
The NYSE Open is returning on June 6, 2026 to Long Island, New York. This proxy-friendly vintage tournament has the guaranteed prize pool of 8 pieces of Power 9 to be drafted by the top 8 based on final standings. Any additional profits made from the event will be added to the prize pool as on-site vendor credit. This tournament has been great the last 2 years. How often do you get to act sad about winning just a time walk? You know I'll be there. See you at the NYSE Open on June 6 on Long Island, New York. Use my link in the video description or find the New York Stacks Exchange on melee.gg.
On the play in round number 4, I'm going to keep, I have this Birds of Paradise into Tameo Brainstorm. The most beautiful open this deck's capable of. I love using Bayou to cast Birds of Paradise in Legacy. Just a play that probably was made many times in 1993. Exploration. Okay. This Tameo is going to have to do a lot of work against some lands. Thespian Stage. Oh my god. Sphere of Resistance. Alright, well, that makes everything worse. Thought I had Birds of Paradise in play, though. Okay, I could play Tameo here and leave mana unspent. I could develop White of the Rel. Alright, yeah, I think I want the white. That was a very good start for my opponent, just passing turn 1 with 5 permanents in play. Show me the Dark Depths. Are we done? Wasteland. Copying Wasteland with Thespian Stage. Okay. Alright, they're on full prison mode. I guess I can respect that. I'm going to play Tameo here because I can turn creatures into lands. And I am going to attack because Maze of Ith is also a forest right now. They get not attacking leaves them with access to mana that I don't need to leave them with. Beseiju. Moment of Truth. If their last card in hand is not an engine card. Uh-oh. To be determined. Oh god, a Tabernacle? Well, actually, White of the Reliquary kind of helps navigate that. Yeah, Tabernacle versus Urza Saga is actually an interesting decision here. Do you want to stop my plan or advance your own? And I think they actually need the Saga more than they need the Tabernacle right now. Especially with Thespian Stage available to copy it. And I hope they take the Tabernacle for my own sake. Yeah, they took the Urza Saga after much deliberation. Clearly the correct play, but I'm bummed about it. I could go get a Wasteland now, but they could Wasteland it because it enters tapped. I'm just going to go to my turn. A land. Heck yeah. I love those. Attack. In my White of the Reliquary. Mazed. Brainstorm time. If I can tap the correct mana for it. Alright, Tameo. Ooh, Leovold makes Maze of Ith kind of a liability. Fatal Push is good. I don't need 2 Uros. And Ponder's pretty bad at this point. Plus that one. And pass the turn. End step, we're going to get another Urza Saga. Is that what you're doing? Yep, okay. So this saga will go up to chapter 1. This one will go to chapter 2. And I need to fade an engine card. If they find a Loam or something that really advances the game for them, I hate that. I'm going to have enough trouble working through these 2 Urza Sagas. One of them is infinite. Right, I don't want Brainstorm anymore. Fatal Push. Okay, plus Tameo. There is a construct possible this turn. I would love to escape Uro and sack it to the white and get a Wasteland invested. I could also play Uro or Leovold pre-combat, but their construct is bigger than Leovold is. Yeah, I might just hold up these 2 fatal pushes. See what happens. I'm going to attack with the white, though. Mazing it is safe, and trying to block it with Construct is the hero play. They are a coward, though. Okay, you can have a Construct. I don't need to fight over it in the end step. SB Stage now knows how to make constructs, which is going to be a problem for me. I think I might have to flip Birds of Paradise into Wasteland this turn, like it or not. Okay, I'll fetch right now, get Underground Sea, and I'm going to let them tutor, because I don't think they can tutor anything that's going to mess me up, but if they grab, like, a Lava Spur Boots and try to jam it in, I can punish that. They could get Pithing Needle on Tameo Season Scholar. It's frustrating. Yep, there it is. Maybe I'll name White instead. That would be so reckless, though. Yeah, name Tameo. Fatal Push this thing. And I'm going to Fatal Push the other one as well. And I think I have to get the Wasteland right now with the bird. I really hope I draw a land to be able to cast Leovold here. Or are we going to crop rotate? Okay, just making a construct right now. I guess they're just getting F6 value. Ooh, all right, well, that is material I can use. Play the Tameo and pass. Okay, my opponent currently has no engines going. I'm tentatively ahead here, though it's not by much, and it could fall apart quickly. Expedition map. That getting another Urza Saga is kind of annoying. But I have this white just face up, so I can get a Wasteland off of this Tameo. The Construct is attacking Planeswalker Tameo. They don't know I have no outs to this, because that would just be crazy deck building, right? Doesn't make any sense to do it that way. How dare you say all those mean things to me? All right, I'll grab another Wasteland here. I was just going to do that anyway, so I'll leave Tameo at 6. If they're worried about that and distracted by it, I want to let it continue to be a problem for them. And they did tap Mazavith to get this far into the turn. Expedition map. Getting Wasteland. Okay, so Wasteland my Wasteland proactively here? Sure. Alright, deck. Drawing a land would be great. Orcish Bowmaster. That card's actually awesome. They attack for 4, and Bowmaster is castable, and it's 2 activations from white. I'm out of Wastelands, but I can just build out Caracas, which covers Merit Lage. Oh no. Sphere of Resistance? Okay. I mean, that sucks too, but it wasn't the Life in the Loam I was scared of. 1 with Bowmaster. Sphere's in. No attack with Construct. They realize it's futile. Sacrifice Orc Army. Right, Gaia's Cradle. This is a card in my deck. Holy moly. Get ahead of Double Sphere pretty quick with that one. And I drew Tropical Island. Okay, how much can I actually do this turn? I could do the Uro trick now and still have Bowmaster in play. If I tap it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I don't like that. I want Leovold in first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's going to make their life a lot harder. Or at least I'll get to draw a lot of cards when they do the things they want to do. I'm a little worried about what the 3 cards in their hand are, though. What's going on over there? I guess it's just more explorations. More copies of Beseju that you can't play because they're legendary. Like, what's actually happening? Sphere number 3. Let's go. I'm into it. And the Bowmaster is worth mana in play, and if it flips into a land, that's the same thing to me. Last zone, that could eventually be troublesome. All right, I think I'm going to do the Uro trick this turn. Oh my god, oh, that guy's pretty good. Hold on. The base of it is currently tapped. I can't really take advantage of that, though. Uro costs 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't think Baraglyph is better than Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's 6, right? There's another sphere now. These numbers just keep getting bigger. And I keep getting smaller. Okay. Do the trick. I'll get... Dried Arbor is worth 2 mana on this board. Is that better than having Caracas? Caracas could protect my Leovold indefinitely. Okay. I'm getting Caracas. Okay. Pass the turn. That Blast Zone's probably not going to go at 2 because that blows up all their spheres. You might try to get up to 3. Oh, Dark Depths. Oh, I wish I had a Caracas in play. And I don't care about that construct. In fact, that construct is about to get cooked. Keen-Eye Curator. Wow, that covers Loam. These cards cost so much fucking mana, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's not great sequences to get everything where I want it. I could just cast Uro for 7 mana out of my graveyard. If I Edict this turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could Edict while leaving up. Yeah, I think getting damage on this board matters. Each opponent sacrifices a creature token of their choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this will push 4 damage through and draw me a card when they Mazavith my white. And the Krakus is still up in case they have somehow crop rotation into Dark Depths, though I don't think the mana's there to do that. I'm not going to bother counting, though, because it's covered and I don't care. Attack. Wow, they're valuing 5 of their life points, their precious life points, over giving me a card. All right, I drew a card with my clue in the end step and hit a land drop. That's what I was going for. Charging up Blast Zone up to 3. I have the Caracas for that to protect the only 3-drop in play. I have not deployed the Barrogoyf ever since that Blast Zone showed up. Nice! Wow! Man, bug magic cards. Favorite archetype. Does this deck want a Pernicious Deed? Oh, that just got me excited. A Disruptor Flute, Force of Vigor, Endurance, Nile Spellbomb. Consign to Memory actually seems viable versus their particular build. I don't care a lot about Grist. Yeah, I think I'm off Grist. Fiend Artisan actually seems really bad. Fatal Push. I did find excellent use for 2 Fatal Pushes in the main deck, but I don't think that's actually what I want to be doing. Though without a Pernicious Deed or an Engineered Explosives or Dress Down or anything like that, any of which this deck could play, Urza Saga is a big problem. I cut a Force of Will. That's not a great card in this matchup. A Consign in. Want to cut another Force for another Consign. That means whatever happens on turn 1 is just going to happen. And if they have a turn 1 like they had last game, but they're on the play, and I don't have a Birds of Paradise, that could be tough. I think I do want Collector Oof in as well. All right, Fatal Push out, Collector Oof in. Big sideboard, let's go. The Surgical Extraction could have some action as well, but I have Endurance, Nile Spellbomb, and Keen-Eye Curator. But I guess those all answer Urza Sagas or Loams that are in play. Like, if I think I should have Surgical in, actually. If I can weather the first Urza Saga or Wasteland it and then Surgical it out of their deck, then that's a whole plan of their deck that's gone. They appear to be taking it a little slower here. I'm not fetching a basic. You can't make me do it. Birds of Paradise. They must have an Ancient Tomb. Yeah, there it is. That explains why the Saga was played on turn 1. A Brainstorm. Oh no. What a disaster. Alright, I'll put back Hedge Maze and Polluted Delta. And I'll Thoughtseize you and then probably just die to these constructs. Wow, 5 spells. Or 5 non-spells. Okay. I am in horrific position here. And there is another Urza Saga in there. Okay, I'm going to fetch for Hedge Maze right now. If they have the Lava Spur Boots or the skateboard, I'm in trouble. Ponder, I'll keep. And Slogurk could get pretty big this game. That's my out. Skateboard, Nightmare. Okay, yep, this hand, very good against what I'm trying to do. I'm at 7, basically dead. Do I have an out? It's Force of Vigor. And if I'm going to Force of Vigor this turn, I can't play Slogurk. Oh, I'm going to Ponder first. Orcish Bowmaster can block for a little while. All right. I'm not dead yet. I'm just very badly burnt. Though I am pretty close to dead also. Because 5 damage is going to get through. I'm going to be at 2, then I have to fetch to 1. Yeah, still just ripping them off over there. They're at 14. That's not enough to cheese damage out with Bowmaster. Hey, Bowmaster, shoot ya. I'll at least pretend I'm playing towards anything. And engineered explosives here would actually completely stabilize. Oh, I can get the Dryad Arbor. That can block. All right, Dryad Arbor, you're in. And I'll Spellbomb. Not gonna do it. All right, that was a firm ass beating. I do want Surgical Extraction in for the reason I said, not as Graveyard Hate, but as take the rest of the cards out of your deck hate, because this match is going to go long enough that that matters. It frequently doesn't, and that's a bad way to think about Urza Saga, but this one I think is going to work that way. Grist is a removal spell. If I don't want my Fatal Pushes in, but I do need to respect at least the first two constructs they make, I might need Grist. And Bowmaster is just kind of a bad card in the matchup. Thoughtseize is kind of a bad card in the matchup too. I just ate a huge pile of shit on that one. Okay, here we go. All right, I will keep, and I'm just going to run Tamiyo out there. You're in check, go. That's how Legacy feels sometimes. We'll turn one Tamiyo, check. A Yavimaya. All right, what does that mean? It could represent crop rotation, Gaia's Cradle. I'm going to attack with Tamiyo first, and then I'm probably going to cast Ponder, and then I'll make decisions about life. Though if I Bowmaster this turn, that does apply pressure, and it's a lot of mana with Cradle next turn. Okay, I don't need to worry about getting Meryl Aged this turn by playing out the Caracas, so that also doesn't cast the Bowmaster, which was the point of my line. Saga number 1 on the board. Expedition map. I like that Expedition map because it means I don't even have to think about sandbagging Bowmaster to maybe kill the first construct if it's only a 1/1. Because guess what? It's not going to be. A Bowmaster in. Something's happening. Is it Dismember? Oh, crop rotation in response. Dumping an Urza Saga. Getting a Tabernacle. Okay. Well, I'm not going to pay for Orc Army, and then I'm going to play Gaia's Cradle and get ahead of this Tabernacle forever. Deal, deal, deal. Drawing Grist. Happy to see that. Attack. And I'm going to stop in my opponent's draw step and Surgical their Urza Sagas at that point. A Surgical Urza Saga. They could crop rotate for another one in response, but that would be crop rotation gone and one Urza Saga left to play the game with. Okay, hand is Skateboard, Crop Rot, Wasteland, Ghost Quarter, Thespian Stage, Dismember. Okay, so their hand is pretty decent. Cards in the deck, 4 copies of Loam, 2 Twin Shot Snipers. That's cool. I like the Edge of Eternity's bonus sheet being just completely unreadable nonsense until you zoom in. Okay, those are gone. That Wasteland in their hand does keep me under the Tabernacle a little bit. But if they try to build out and do anything with this Merit Lage, I have that covered a variety of ways. I am kind of in an annoying squeeze here where my opponent can dismember after I pay for the creature. But I am going to keep paying for them, at least for a little while. Continue to hide that sweet, sweet Caracas in my hand. I could use it to protect my Tamiyo, but I don't want them to know about it, especially when they have Ghost Quarter and the straight line to Merit Lage available. I guess I can Ponder. Ponder. Thoughtseize. I don't think I want any of these cards. I'm going to shuffle them. Burrow, kind of sweet. End step. Expedition map. Okay, they're mapping. They pretty much have to win with Merit Lage at this point because the sagas are gone. There's depths. I think I have to let Bowmaster die this turn. Thespian Stage. They know I play Wasteland, which is interesting, because if they play around Wasteland by main phasing Merit Lage here, I get to go downtown from the Caracas. Okay, so I could pay for Bowmasters, make them play around Caracas for a turn. Yeah, okay. Because they can make Merit Lage right now with the crop rotation. I'm going to attack first and see if I could get them on the hook for that. Like if they try to jump out the Merit Lage and block, that's the biggest punish here. They didn't fall for it. I'll play out the Caracas, which forces them to spend a turn dealing with the Caracas before they can do other things, which lets me draw a card with my clue, and then I have the Shoulder's Edict on backup, and I just need the mana up for that when we get around to it. Loam on Wasteland. Loam's a frustrating find here. That's a lot better than Ghost Quarter. Draw a card. Yeah, sure. You got me. Okay. That clears the Loam. I like that. They, Bayou, attack. I think Grist is the pitch here. I have higher hopes for Uro. Grist also not very good into the Tabernacle at Pendrevale. Not a great sequence. Okay. Pitch, Grist to endure you. I want to take the Loam and the Wasteland out. My basic is still in my deck. Slogurk is still in my deck too. It's a lot slower than Loam, but it would be very good here. Depths is in play. The squad is present. Blue token. Zenith, pretty cool. Suspiciously leaving up my black sources. Consign to memory. That doesn't do a lot. Oh, it does scam Uro in. That's nice. Yeah, if opponent gets antsy, Uro can jump right in here. Because they do have crop rotation in their hand that could get Bajuka Bog if Uro is too obvious. Okay. I think what's going to happen here is Talon Gates of Madara, but having the consign actually covers it. Oh, that would be so sick if I could get them on the hook for that. Each opponent sacrifices a creature token of their choice. Crop rotation. That one is spent. Talon Gates. As long as I have a blue source in my deck, and there is exactly one. I was pretty sure that was still in there. Talon Gates. Countered. Merit Lage dead. Oh, baby. That was a big turn. Skateboard, Ghost Quarter, Dismembers their hand. Their lands are pretty bad. I haven't been hitting them very hard, though. Malevolent Rumble. Found Loam. Jesus. All right. They're back in business. I think I'm going to have to take a turn off here. Let something die. They took Exploration off of that. And there it is. Yeah, I definitely have to blow up the Loam. Okay. I do have a basic land. Ka-chow! Okay, what do I have to do here? I have to Zenith for 2 with a mana still up, which means I can pay for one of these things. Oh, they rotate away the Tabernacle. Life is so free. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Zenith for 2. Get the Keen-Eyed Curator. Snipe that Mamma Jam and Life from the Loam right out of there. Hedge Maze. Consign to memory. Do I want that? What does that do anymore? Sagas are gone. Merit Lage is covered. All right. Oh, it scams the Uro into play. Nope, I still like that. Okay, I think Curator is probably going to get dismembered this go around. All right, they are taking a block. Wow. Oh, they're blocking and then dismembering. That's fair. Might as well, if that's your plan. All right, they do want the Curator. That hits the hardest by a lot. I get to take one card with me. Besejo and Ghost Quarter. Or Besejo still doesn't work. Ghost Quarter does. Thespian Stage, Tabernacle. I really don't want this Tabernacle to come back out again. I guess that's how I'm going to do that. I can flip Tameo next turn. And or scam in Uro, depending on what they do here. Wow! Who needs a proper sweeper in your deck if you could just make it happen with regular old cards? On to the final round. That was awesome.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
I'm on the play in the final round, positive record on the line. I'm going to keep. My hand's pretty well-rounded here. And start with a Ponder. I think that Fetchland and Birds of Paradise are good enough to keep. That lets me brainstorm and shuffle next turn, or just develop 2 things, fatal push a thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they're up to. Blue to Delta. Volcanic Island. All right, this fatal push is going to be pretty important. Dragon's Rage Channeler resolves. This is probably going to be a good match. This is fair, normal magic into my deck built to do that in fun and exciting ways. Opponent says, hello, YouTube. Everyone say hi to Sandal123. Fatal push right now. I'm not playing around Force of Negation. Okay, that's gone. I could get the basic forest, but I'm really not interested because I'm going to be exposed to Wasteland anyway. And if this Birds of Paradise makes it in, then Wasteland is a clown who would win a design mistake from 1997 or a perfect Magic card designed in 1993. The cool thing about Birds of Paradise also is that this was a very late addition to the alpha file. And this is obviously not the original art because the original art is like $17 on MTGO and this one is 0.002 cents. But the original art was actually the art for Tropical Island and they had to shift the file around when they added Birds of Paradise super late. Which is why Birds of Paradise, the card. Okay, that's fine. Never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, the Birds of Paradise was Tropical Island. All right, I could see for another Birds here. I could also just brainstorm and see what happens. I'm going to brainstorm, actually. I don't really want Force of Wills in this matchup. And I definitely don't want Hedge Mage in my hand. Big Leo. Okay. Hedge Maze goes back. And I think what I'm actually going to do here is Zenith for Dried Arbor and just try to get ahead of Daze. And then I'm going to try to use Force to push Leovold through. Okay, and that did shuffle my deck. Oh, Hedge Maze is in there somewhere. I can fetch it here. This insulates against Wasteland as well. Corey Steelcutter. Okay, never mind. This is a good place to put Force of Will as well. If they force back, then Leovold wasn't going to work anyway, or that clears the way for Leovold. If they don't force back, then they probably don't have it, and then Leovold can run amok here. Leovold's not very good against the card Murktide Regent, though. I like him against the rest of their deck. Oro is phenomenal in this matchup. A little Bauble action. Mishra's Bauble is a dicey card into Leovold as well. Okay, get my Hedge Maze. That obfuscates the information that they just gained from their Bauble. Not that that's really why I do anything in life. I guess I'll take Wasteland. Bauble happens. Big Leo time. Please resolve, please resolve. I've seen a lot of cards since I checked them for Force of Will. Oh, Leo's in. Wastelandia. And attack. Well, Leovold is low-key pretty good against Corey Steelcutter because the thing that keeps Corey Steelcutter moving is cantrips. All right, please don't shove Murktide Regent right now. Corey Steelcutter. Do they have Lightning Bolt to follow it up? No. All right, here's Mishra's Bauble. They have to target themselves on their own turn for this card to not be a full punish. Okay, they targeted me. I'll take that. Yoink. They did do it on their own turn, though. You can draw a card each turn, though they're allowed to draw one card on my turn. Right, no attack there. That was pretty honest. I would not have blocked. They draw a Brainstorm. White of the Reliquary is 3/3 right now. All right, I'll play it. Starting to get some hooks in. I don't like brainstorming now because the best I could hope for is a fetch land and then I'm just drawing random. I'd like to brainstorm when I have at least one bad card in my hand. Thundering Falls. My outs to Murktide in my deck. I have the Sheoldred's Edict. I have the Grist. They just dumped a Corey Steelcutter. That's nice. I have a Baleful Strix. I could block with Tameo for a little while. Ooh, Lightning Bolt targeting Leovold. All right, Leo. Please draw a Force of Will right now. That would be so sick. Bayou. All right, I'm going to Brainstorm. Still over the top here. Ooh, okay, that's fine. Bowmaster's pretty nice. All right, that Leovold was good for 2 cards. Or 3 cards. It got the 2 cards it drew plus the Lightning Bolt. And Petty Theft targeting White of the Rel. Sure. This is in my hand. I'm taking some amount of damage here. Orcish Bowmaster, pretty nice follow-up. No blocks, no thank you. And I'm going to lead on White. Because they know I have it. They don't know about Bowmaster. If they did Sandbag Force blue card here, they might be incentivized to use that there. I didn't have that. I'll grab Bayou. and go Orcish Bowmaster. Pick off a 1/1 while I can. They could daze this to save their monks. All right, yep, tight. I will pay. Oh no, double daze. That's fucked up, actually. Okay, well, that will trigger Quarry Steel Cutter, but now I know their hand is 2 Volcanic Islands, and we'll see if these monks can get through my 5/5 before the opponent finds more gas. Or Thundering Falls, that and Volcanic Island were the 2 cards I knew. Put a card on top. Yikes. Fiend Artisan. This is not on the top of the list of cards I would have chosen to draw here. I'm going to brainstorm and see if I can come up with something cool like Uro or a removal spell. Or Barrowgoyf. Let's go. Gotta put 2 back. Yeah, I guess I'll put back Fiend Artisan Green Sun Zenith. Or Fiend Artisan Polluted Delta. Yeah, because if I end up using White of the Reliquary this turn, I don't want to shuffle away the Zenith. Okay, attack for 5. That one's on the house. Little chump block, alright. I like that when my plan is Barrowgoyf. 5/6 Barrowgoyf. If they did stack a Murktide on top last turn, I can Zenith to answer it with the Grist. They said Ugh in the chat. I wonder if it's just a generic Ugh about the card Barrowgoyf, or if they stacked something on top that doesn't answer it. Not sure. Murktide Regent, okay. That is the card that I was worried they might have, but I'm actually no longer worried. And I've held on to the Dryad Arbor this long, that means Grist has material to sacrifice without losing any of my good creatures. Zenith for Grist the Hunger Tide, minus sacrifice Dryad Arbor, take out Murktide, swing for a gajillion. Oh yeah. I think this one's over, but we'll see. We'll see what they could come up with. Maybe they have a main deck Price of Progress or something that'll scam me still, but I feel pretty good. Brainstorm. Yeah, that's the type of card that can keep things moving for you. If they have Unholy Heat in their deck, or if this is a build with the Boomerang basics, there could still be some hope for them. All right, now they're hellbent with a Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm feeling good. They're in the Abyss. They have to block every turn at least one of these creatures because together they're lethal. Thoughtseize. Oh, that's no good. Plus Grist. Can I make Barrowgoyf bigger randomly? Dump to Force of Will. They could delete their entire board, killing this Barrowgoyf. You are welcome to do that, actually. Okay, just chump blocking. Deal. Pass the turn. Grist is going to die this turn because Dragon's Rage Channeler has to fight, and attacking me at 21 life doesn't make any sense. Leovold, Barrowgoyf, and Grist involved in this game up to this point. If Slogurk shows up, we've got the trifecta. The whole squad. Barrowgoyf has become 6/7, 6/7. Do I want this insect? Yeah, I want an insect more than I want a land. And here I am with a land. Okay, attack with everybody. What's the plan to survive this with 1 card in hand? 3 mana in the pool. That doesn't block. If they have another card, like a Bolt or Brainstorm, they could trigger Quarry Steel. Okay, bolting the bug. I might as well flip the bug into a land then, if that's what we're doing. And do I want Gaia's Cradle, Caracas, or Wasteland here? I think it's Caracas. It mostly doesn't matter. But if I can do cool Slogurk or Uro tricks, I'll take it. Okay, both monks have to block. Opponent has 6 flying damage that can't block my creatures. I'm at 27. Do I want to play out this Polluted Delta? I do not. Okay. 2 lethal creatures, 2 creatures that can't block, 1 card in hand. What say you, opponent? They said they'd like to concede. Alright, Barrowgoyf. Is anyone playing this Barrowgoyf card? I'm over here with this Bug Brew deck. Has anyone tried that? Just curious. Did I discover some secret tech? Hydroblast is good, Carpet's good, Endurance is good, Force of Will mostly stinks. Veil of Summer is mediocre. It's good against Petty Theft, but their removal is red for the most part, and I don't even know what their counterspells are going to look like post-board, though they probably will still have forces in because I showed some pretty high-impact stuff, including Green Sun Zenith. I probably do want Veil of Summer. Baleful Strix not getting boarded out. We love Baleful Strix. Thoughtseize could be mid, but Thoughtseize clearing the way for Barrowglyph is pretty nice, and most cards in their deck are worth the 2 life if you Thoughtseize when they have a couple of cards in hand. All my removal is necessary. I could even see arguments for Nile Spellbomb. The Murktide is something I called out as a potential issue. I think maybe Fiend Artisan's going to go. I just don't see myself having a bunch of random extra creatures around to feed to that. That's clearly the worst card in the deck. Even if this was just a second White of the Reliquary, I think it would improve. Maybe I do go -1 Thoughtseize. Just do I think Veil or Nile Spellbomb are better than Thoughtseize is the comparison I'm making at this point. And I think I do believe in that. Yeah, I believe in that well enough, I suppose. Let's go. All right. Oh no, the Arbor's in my hand. I was about to keep that and say, we'll just Zenith for Arbor on turn 1. But the Arbor in my hand actually makes this hand kind of stinky. But I do have Brainstorm that can reset it. Okay, yeah, I'll play it. That does make my hand significantly worse, though. Hydroblast. All right, I'm going to get Underground Sea and rip off a Hydroblast on this thing. If they have Daze, my hand sucks into Daze anyway. If they don't have Daze, let's get the threat off the board. Wasteland, that's going to slow me down for quite a while. That's my blue source. Didn't have a follow-up play, though. All right. Playing Dryad Arbor as Dryad Arbor, the worst feeling in all of Magic, especially against the Lightning Bolt Wasteland deck. Oh, yeah, they got red in the pool. Lava Dart. Wow, that is the personal middle finger. I have not seen Lava Dart in a Legacy deck. That's really interesting. I wonder if they have 4 Quarry Steel Cutters. Like, why is this card here? What is this doing structurally, strategically, that it would be worth a slot in your deck over any other card you could play? And I wonder if, I suspect they're probably higher in on Steel Cutter than normal. All right, that fetch land was a godsend. Going over there holding up Wasteland with me, with a Bayou in my hand. All right, they're not struggling to hit land drops. Hate that for me. Quarry Steel Cutter, there it is. And there's a Lava Dart in the graveyard at minimum. Honestly, if they want to sack an entire ass land here, wow, to deal 2 damage to me, I fucking accept. So their hand must be all lands or reactive spells. Because any proactive spell here, they would not have done that. That's so fascinating. Okay, I could fetch Hedge Maze here because they did tap out of the Wasteland. Wasteland's going to get me anyway. Getting basic Forest here makes no sense. Right, I will take literally anything that's a land. Caracas into the grip. And I'm going to try to... I could play Bowmaster here, or I could Zenith for... Yeah, I'm going to Zenith for Birds of Paradise. I think my opponent's hand is all counterspells, lands, or Murktide Regents. Even sacking the Volcanic Island, though, if your hand is Murktide Regent, that takes you off double blue. I think their hand is a lot of lands. Oh wow, they just put Murktide into the graveyard. So that might mean they already have one, or it might mean they just sacked their second blue source to cast the one they do have. Preordain. Top bottom. Bauble. That gets the party going. That does also trigger Bowmaster in my upkeep. Bobbling me. Yeah, ripping off that Wasteland's kind of a bummer. Yeah, now I'm not gonna. Yeah, my mana, my turn, just everything is better. My playing around days, everything is better if I let them draw this card rather than try to Bowmaster in response to it. I'll Bowmaster now, though. Test that counterspell theory. Days. Okay, I will pay to keep it, so I won't get to kill a monk. And if they also force it, okay. Yeah, they're willing to put everything on the ground to try to win with these Quarry Steel Cutters right now. I respect that. That force pitch to Murktide, so my read that their hand was counterspells or Murktide Regents was correct. It was literally 2 counterspells and a Murktide Regent. All right. Can I stabilize? That's not the Volcanic Island we just saw them pick up. Oh no, don't have Lightning Bolt. That would be so shitty. I'm literally dead to that. Red in the pool, Lightning Bolt. Killed the Birds of Paradise. I would have killed me, personally. I'm not in charge. Okay, Orcish Bowmaster. My hold on this game is tenuous. If I fetch him at 2, is that fetch? Then I die to... Well, I'm dead to a Prowess trigger anyway. Oh, I'm dead without a Prowess trigger. Okay, yeah. I absolutely cannot fetch here. This turn's going to be chump chump. Hope you have 0 spells. Oh no, a spell. My nemesis. I don't think this one's winnable anymore. Opponent threw everything at the all-out assault, the daze and then force the thing you had already dazed, the sack a mountain on turn 3 to lava dart. All of that was pretty fire, actually. Oh, right. Yeah, you draw a card, so I'm not dead. Okay. I'm still at 1. That is how cantripping into Bowmaster works. I get to take out this monk and block the other one, go to 1, fetch in the end step, or I guess I would fetch on my turn. I would take a draw and see what happens, and then I would make decisions. Okay. Trade, chump, 1 tramples over. Orcish Bowmaster, hell of a card. Okay. Removal spell, something that gains life, something good. That's none of those things. Fetch to 1 entire life point. And Ponder sees more cards here. And I can't afford to shuffle anyway. Or wait. If I brainstorm, I could put away the fetch lands. And yeah, if I find like a source of blue and then something to do with it. Hey, look at this. Look at this exactly. That's exactly what I said. Though, still might not be good enough. Okay. Children's Edict. Each opponent sacrifices a creature token of their choice. Alright, the monk is dead. And they've got 1 card in hand. If they cast a spell, I could blow up the Core Steel in response. I could counter a Lightning Bolt. Please just pass the turn here. That's what I need. I need that so bad. 1 life. 1 life. Okay, they didn't just rip off Lightning Bolt. That's good news. Ponder. There's at least 1 unplayable fetch land on top of my deck. Endurance, huh? That card's not bad. Okay. No shuffle. Pass. That is a commitment to drawing some cards I can't use. I think I will play out the Misty, though, because I'm dead to Price of Progress anyway, and if I draw an Uro or something down the line that gains life, that's something I can play with. Brainstorm. Do I Hydroblast the Cutter now? No, I'm going to let this happen. Now that I have Endurance, I can absorb a Cutter attack. A Bobble. Alright, well, I lose to Daze, I lose to Bolt. I lose to most things here. Alright, I'm going to respond to this fetch land, actually, with Endurance. Because if Murktide is the card in their hand, this is the opportunity to shut that down. Okay. What do you got? Alright, I was dead to that anyway. Alright. Pulled that one back from the brink for a while there. That was close. I think the cards that are in my deck are the good cards. I just need to have them in the right order. Okay, on the play, a little Tameo for you. I'll keep. Delver decks can certainly handle a Tameo, but I am going to present it turn 1 on the play, where if my opponent spends time answering it, I can wasteland them and ponder, and hopefully put them off balance enough that my clunkier deck can get something going. We're on a mull to 6. That helps. Tameo is on the board. Blue to Delta. Red man in the pool. Is it Dragon's Rage Channeler? No, it is Pyroblast. Okay, fair enough. Mishra's Bauble deployed. Another Mishra's Bauble deployed. Storm is 3. Looking at your top deck, looking at my top deck. Just know everything about everyone's decks. We got a real deck paper over there. I don't think Wasteland will necessarily screw an opponent with this many cards in their hand, but I'll take my chances. I'm not doing anything else this turn. Bowmaster Ponder. I like all these cards. No shuffle, pass. There's even land number 4 if they waste me back. I can just absorb a lot of that for a long time. Wasteland, that's fine. I do have to remember how many tropical islands I play, though. Okay, Ponder. Hydroblast, another land, another Ponder. I want the Hydroblast for sure, and I'll put the land under it in case I need that. Volcanic Island. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay, now the hero moment of I could cast this Bowmaster and just hope they don't have days. Or I could Hydroblast it and play around that. I could still Hydroblast it next turn, but obviously just having Bowmaster resolve is so much better than it not resolving. And Hydroblast is my best answer to Core Steel Cutter and future Lightning Bolts. Alright, bet. Orcish Bowmaster. We're in. Hero Ball. Ponder's on top of my deck. My lands are good. Murktide, if they have it here, which they don't, would have only been a 4/4. Got to Ponder into my Bowmaster. Feed the Beast. Ping ya. Didn't shuffle the Ponder, though. Okay, another ponder for me. I knew that was coming. I think I'd like to brainstorm here. I probably should have played a land first. That would have let me counter a lightning bolt if they tried to respond. All right, Dried Arbor I literally never want in my hand in my entire life. And I could float the Grist on top, I guess. Or I could Zenith for Arbor right now. No, I want the Grist on top. That covers a possible Murktide. Just checking the boxes here. It's turn 5. I'm still at 20 life and my opponent has nothing in play. I have to think about what they could play here and how it affects me. Things I'm worried about are Quarry Steel Cutter, Murktide Region, for the most part. I'm not going to die to a Price of Progress this game. Not without a lot of additional setup. Murktide is in. If only I had prepared for this possibility. Oh, right, I did. I'm going to fetch Bayou. Grist, are we in? We're in. Right, my mighty 2/2 Orc army has to die. It feels better when it's a 1/1, when you have to do that. Whatever. Okay, I am going to ponder here. I can tap out a Hydroblast for a turn. And I'll get Drop. Oh, okay. Suddenly have a Daze. Didn't have that a couple turns ago. I don't mind that at all when I have Green Sun Zenith in my hand. Dazing an errant ponder. Misty Rainforest. I'll plus Grist. Please flip Uro. Please flip Uro. Thoughtseize. Okay. I would have cast Thoughtseize here. Little sad to see it go, but okay. Attack with Bowmasters. I'm going to check what mana sources are still in my deck. I have one Tropical Island dead, one Trop in play, one Sea in play. I think I have another Sea I can fetch for blue. Yeah, okay. Oh, I can Zenith for 3 here without tapping out of Hydroblast. And the decision here between Uro and Leovold's actually an interesting one. But if I have a Hydroblast ready to answer all the red cards in their deck, which are their answers to Leovold, I think I like Leo. Right, Petty Theft in response on my Bowmaster. Yeah, that is playing around Leovold. And the Uro just looks so good here, actually. All right, fine. I'll get Uro begrudgingly. Man, I love Uro. If I draw a land here, I can also cast Bowmaster back. Okay. Uro's in business. And it's fun with the Zenith package because they would have liked to Petty Theft that Uro once I play it, but instead they had to play around Leovold. Enjoying this tasty brainstorm while it's still an option. Island. So that's not a shuffle on the brainstorm. Ripping off another brainstorm to see one new card. We're just trying to clear these out before this Bowmaster is back online. Alright, yeah, okay. Turns out that was a pretty good Bowmaster. Opponent casts 3 brainstorms this turn, seeing a total of 6 cards. As far as that goes, that was a pretty modest use of 3 brainstorms. They said, oh god, that orc in the chat. Yeah, yep, I agree. I was just saying the same thing. Leovold, my father. I don't know why Leovold's my father. I've just decided that's true. Right, Uro is still better here, though, unfortunately. Green, blue, green, blue. I don't have any Murktides I have to think about. I only have Slowgurk that uses my graveyard. Force, pitching, force. Okay. Uro's in the graveyard. Milled over a land. That's just like drawing a card. I didn't want that shit anyway. There's very little here I'm worried about. I can Hydroblast most things they would play. I can Fatal Push the other things, and the one thing that doesn't get Hydroblasted or Fatal Push dies to the Grist that's already on board and active. Didn't shuffle Ponder, though. They're finding cards they like. I guess if they have something like Blood Moon, like, I'm trying to think of just deranged cards that are theoretically possible at this point, because I think I'm covered versus normal stuff. Okay, Uro, back on the stack. If they counter it again, it'll take a little while to heat up the 3rd shot, but this Uro has already been worth 3 cards. The card on the way in, the Force of Will, the card pitched to Force Will, now this Pyroblast. I will Hydroblast back. They'd need Daze or another Hydroblast here, or another Pyroblast. We're in with Uro. Okay, time to turn the corner and really start beating face. Grist milled a Nile Spellbomb. Well, their graveyard's operational, but the thing that they use for their graveyard for is covered by Grist. I feel really good here. We got the GG. And there it is, a positive record with Bug Zenith Magic cards, Bug Rare Binder. I think it's pretty clear in terms of playing the best Legacy deck you could play that Like White of the Reliquary, we're not maximizing that. Fiend Artisan, actively kind of bad. Slogurk, not a great way to spend 3 mana in Legacy right now. Like, we knew that coming in. But the Green Sun Zenith, getting the package, I think I Zenith for almost everything that I can this league. Arbor, yes. Bird, yes. Curator, yes. Artisan, no. White, no. Grist, Leovold, Slogurk, Uro, all yes. And having access to Collector Roof and Endurance, I did use those cards. I don't think I had to Zenith for them. I think I drew them naturally when they came up, but pretty good coverage on the Green Sun Zenith package. And the White of the Reliquary, though I didn't choose to Zenith for it, I certainly drew it a lot, and it was pretty good a couple of those times. I would normally offer feedback for how to improve this deck, and I guess I will do that, even though like we're kind of in an awkward spot where Pokemoki's bug deck is already out there. You could play that. Cradle Control is already out there. You could play that. We're in intentionally weird space. I think Fiend Artisan is just bad. And you could cut that for, you could main deck the Collector Oof. You could play another Baleful Strix. You could play another Shieldred's Edict. Just some other appropriate legacy card, which Fiend Artisan isn't really rising to the occasion of here. And I think we want some kind of sweeper in the sideboard. We had the Massacres versus Ocelot Pride, but this deck is pretty disrespectful of the card Urza Saga, which I did lose one of the Urza Saga matches we played, and I got pretty fortunate in the other one. But in that one, I had to board in Surgical to take the Urza Sagas out of their deck to have a chance, which is not a good plan. It's just the best plan I had available in this deck. But some, Pernicious Deed, Engineered Explosives, Dress Down, that kind of stuff, I would explore that for the sideboard if I wanted to play exactly this kind of deck again. God Santa, that went pretty well, and it's full of cards I love casting. I had fun. I hope all of you viewers had fun as well. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.